Legislative Advocacy Coalition. Edmond PLAC is a local chapter of our statewide nonprofit Oklahoma PLAC. OKPLAC advocates for strong public schools and legislation that supports all public school children in Oklahoma. Edmond PLAC and OKPLAC are not affiliated with Edmond Public Schools, but we would like to take this time to say thank you to Edmond Public Schools, the admin team, and Cimarron Middle School for allowing us to host this event here. Before I forget, bathrooms are located right behind this wall underneath the flags if you need to use the facilities. Of course, we want to thank Mrs. Kuhlman and Mrs. Tiffin for agreeing to participate in the forum tonight and appreciate your desire and willingness to serve on the school board, so thank you. And to you who came tonight, we are thankful for you and grateful that you choose to be engaged in this process. We just want to remind everyone to please remember that these women are members of our community and are volunteering their time to be here tonight and are working to serve the students, families, and staff of EPS. So we ask everyone to remain positive, sorry about that, and respectful of our candidates this evening. Our moderator tonight is Mrs. Michelle Magnuson. She's going to be moderating the forum tonight. She has 3 children attending EPS currently. She's been the PTO president at Will Rogers in the past and is currently serving as the PTO secretary. Ms. Magnuson currently works for Community Share and was previously a school teacher, so she gets bonus points from us. As for the guidelines for tonight's forum, both candidates have been provided with a list of topics to prepare for this evening's forum. Earlier this evening, we did a coin flip to see who would go first. Mrs. Kuhlman won the coin flip, so she will go first, and then each question will alternate thereafter. To keep the forum within the time constraints, candidates will be asked the same 10 to 12 questions. Candidates will have 2 minutes to answer each question. We'll be keeping time right in front of the 2 of you, and we'll have signs that the display when the candidates have 60 seconds remaining, 30 seconds remaining, and stop when time is up. In the event that Ms. Magnuson decides to ask a follow-up question, you will have 15 seconds for your response. And again, time will be kept. At the end of the forum, after all questions have been answered, each candidate will be given 2 minutes for a closing statement. So, Ms. Magnuson. Thanks everyone for coming out tonight. We'll start our introductions with Ms. Kuhlman. Please take 2 minutes to introduce yourself. What motivates you to run for the Board of Education? What differentiates you from other candidates and board members? And what experiences or skills have prepared you to serve?
Okay, thank you. I'm LeeAnn Kuhlman, and it's my pleasure to be here. I talked loud. I appreciate everyone who's here. I think the school board is a really important position for our community. I have 3 children that have gone through Edmond Public Schools. They went from Chisholm, Cimarron, and Memorial, and they are all OU graduates. I have 7 grandchildren. None of them are living in Edmond currently, maybe someday. But I just have a real heart for Edmond Public Schools. They have done a terrific job with my children and with so many of the students I've seen and the excellence that they have. I believe that Edmond is due the respect that it should get because we are nationally ranked. We're in the top 10, ranked by Newsweek, and that's quite an accomplishment. And I'm talking about the high schools. I also want you to know that this is an opportunity, as I was preparing, it's an opportunity to share with you all of the wonderful things that our schools are doing. I mean, I did some research just to bring it all together because there's so many wonderful programs wonderful people that are part of our school district. So I wanted to start with that because I really do feel like it's a privilege and an honor to be here, and I just appreciate you all being here as well. Thank you.
Let's just save our applause. Thanks, Tiffin.
Good evening, Edmond families, teachers, and fellow citizens. My name is Codie Tiffin, and I am a proud wife, mother of 6, and grandmother of 10. I'm a financial advisor who spent my career helping families build secure futures. My own children walked the halls at Edmond Memorial High School, and I'll forever be grateful for the positive experiences that they had there. Dedicated teachers challenged them academically, coaches built their character on the field, and the district's strong programs helped them graduate ready for life. Edmond Public Schools has earned its reputation, as LeeAnn said, as one of the very best districts in Oklahoma, consistently ranked in the top 2% nationally, and with our high schools among the state's finest. The excellence is something we must protect and build upon. But excellence requires vigilance, and as a grandmother and a mother, I was shocked when I personally discovered explicit and graphic books in our school libraries, materials that no child should encounter in the K-12 setting. These books undermine the innocence of our students and contradict the values that made Edmond great. Parents, not bureaucrats or outside agendas, should have final say in what our children are exposed to. That's exactly why I'm running for the board. I'm running to keep faith, family, freedom, and fundamentals at the heart of our schools. Faith in God and in one another. Strong families is the foundation of every child's success. Freedom for parents to guide their children's education without interference. And a return to the fundamentals. Phonics-based reading, rigorous math, and the timeless virtues of honesty, perseverance, integrity, and personal responsibility. These are the values that shaped my life, has strengthened my family, and built this community. As your next school board member, I will work every day to make sure that every Edmond child receives the excellent values-driven education they deserve, the same education that blessed my own children at Memorial. And with your help, we can keep Edmond Public Schools not just good, but truly great for generations to come. Thank you, and God bless you. And I'm asking for your vote on April 7th.
Thank you to both of you. Our next question will be around when and where was the last time you were in a public school? And can you tell us more about your experience as well as your observations and impressions? Starting with you, Mrs. Tiffin.
Sure. So our youngest graduated in 2025 from Edmond Memorial. That was probably the last time I was in a public school, but I am a product of public schools. My children and my grandchildren all go to public schools, and they do not attend in Edmond. They are down in Shawnee and Blanchard. I had a great public school experience. My children had a great public school experience. We moved here from another state during their high school years, and they both thrived here, and Oklahoma has changed that. Edmond really helped shape my children.
Ms. Kuhlman.
As a matter of fact, I was in schools today. I'm sorry, I was in a couple of schools today. I try to visit schools, attend functions, especially like musicals. Our elementary schools put on wonderful musicals. I also find it interesting to see what our teachers are doing in their classrooms, and it's pretty amazing to see the interaction between the teachers and the students. There is so much excitement that's going on, and I see it from kindergarten, pre-K, all the way up to high school. And we have so many things that we offer that can create that excitement. We cater to all students. We want to do what's best for all students. And by doing so, it requires a lot of challenges on the teacher's part, as well as on the families. Our families are so important to us, and we have made great strides in including them in the decisions that they need to make. When it comes to the books, parents can opt out of any of the books that we provide or have for their education, so there's not that constraint on parents. We believe that families are the heart of our community and of our schools. and they need to be involved. We have watchdogs, fathers that come to the schools, and they are so excited just to be there and help and see their children. They're kind of an honored person when they get there because the kids love having someone there that they can identify with.
Thank you. This question will start with Mrs. Kuhlman. Sorry. If elected, what will be your priorities for the next 5 years as a school board member, and how do you plan to accomplish these priorities?
I thought a lot about this question because priorities vary with individuals. However, we have challenges in our district that are not unique to Edmond. One is that we are a very diverse community and we have a very diverse clientele. There are 93 languages spoken in Edmond's public schools, and that in itself is a challenge. We also need to better prepare our students for post-secondary education, and by doing that, we want to prepare them, not just have them college ready, but have them career ready. We have partnerships with Francis Tuttle. We have mentors from various areas of the community. We strive to give our students the best opportunities available. And it takes a village to raise your children, and we are part of that village. I think it's important to recruit and retain the most qualified teachers that are available. That is not an easy job right now. Public education is kind of taking a hit, and it's unfortunate because if we don't serve the public, if we don't educate the public, then we're going to have a world that isn't, and a society that really has lost the value of education and their belonging. We want every student to feel like they belong, and we do that by offering a variety of courses that usually meet the expectations or the desires of every student.
Mrs. Tiffin, your priorities and how you meet them.
Thank you. The first year, it's just kind of a wait and listen. Just get to know everybody, get to know the teachers, build a solid foundation, and just build an alliance with the parents and the teachers and the students. From then on, I think one of my priorities would be balancing the budget. I'm really good at that. I oversee a lot of my clients' money. I help them take budgets and plan for the future, and so that would be one thing that I would really prioritize over the next 2 to 4 or 5 years. Improving proficiency scores would be one. Making every child, or allowing every child to learn phonics and passing them in reading by the 3rd grade is very important. Ensuring parents are listened to first, as they're the primary educators that God has entrusted them with. A really career-focused post-secondary is important, but also trades are very important too. And I think getting partnerships with other businesses too, not just with Francis Tuttle, but corporations that can come in and help our children maybe implement a work-study program where they get credit for school while working in a career is something that I would look into as well.
Thank you. What attributes and behaviors are essential for school board members, and what is the best way to address differences of opinion on the board or between the board and administration? And we'll start with you, Mrs. Tiffin.
Well, differences are just gonna happen. That's part of life. But I have pretty thick skin, so it's not something that I would shy away from. I think being honest and having integrity is probably the most important thing about being a board member. Is just being truthful in what you're saying and following through with that. But as a board member, my role is clear: to set high-level policy that empowers the superintendent and the staff to run schools effectively while holding everybody accountable. That's very important to me. Focusing on oversight, approving budgets, prioritizing classrooms, Reviewing data on student outcomes and ensuring policies are very important too as a board member. But being a board member is a very sacred trust, and I approach it with that integrity and never micromanaging the teachers. That's none of my business, but just staying in my lane and always putting our children and families first.
Would you mind repeating the question?
Absolutely. What attributes and behaviors are essential for school board members? And what is the best way to address differences of opinion within the board or between the board and administrators?
Well, board members have some specific responsibilities. And one of those responsibilities is to hire the superintendent. Other responsibilities include complying with the state department mandates, and we do that by revising policies to meet those standards. You can't go willy-nilly without having a plan and knowing what is expected. As far as communication, I think that communication is mandatory, that you can not only communicate with each other as board members, and you have to be able to disagree agreeably. We're not always out to get our own way. We have to do what's best for students. I also think that you need to have a communication with families and parents. We have email addresses that are available. We have our phone numbers out there. We hope that should there be a problem, that if it comes to us, we take it up the chain of command. We are not the authority to change whatever it is. We have to go through the accurate steps to get the solution. It may not be the solution you want, but it has to go through those priorities and those steps. A board member is not setting the rules. It takes all 5 members of the board to act upon anything that comes before the board. So one person does not make a huge difference. It gives people a voice, but it also allows people to have that connection with a board member.
We'll start again with you, Mrs. Kuhlman. Dr. Delich and the district administrative team, thanks for coming tonight, recently presented the strategic plan for EPS at a school board meeting and to various community groups. What parts do you think will be most impactful to our students, staff, and community? And what challenges do you foresee in implementing Edmond excellence with fidelity?
Well, we do have a strategic plan in place, and that plan includes several important things. One is recruitment and retention of our staff. We have to do the best job possible to get the most qualified teachers and administrators in their positions. Another part is support of work environment. Mental health is taking a lot out of not just families, but also teachers, students. We have to deal with those problems individually and look for solutions that will provide an outlet for them. We have Call Sam. It's a line that students can call for student assistance for mercy. We have something called SOS that students can also get help if they are struggling with suicidal thoughts. There's just a lot that goes into what these board members are doing and facing. We have to be sure that the finances are accurate and that they're balanced. We approve the budget, and amazingly, we do a pretty good job. We have not had a deficit. We've passed every bond issue that I can even remember, and that money is used to build and furnish our new schools. We're in the process of building our 19th elementary school, and we will soon build our 7th middle school.
Mrs. Tiffin, the strategic plan.
Would you mind repeating?
Absolutely. So Dr. Delich and the administrative team recently presented the strategic plan at a school board meeting and various community groups. What parts of that plan do you think will be most impactful to students, staff, and community? And what challenges do you foresee in implementing Edmond excellence with fidelity?
Thank you. I just want to make sure I hit on all those points. The strategic plan that was presented, I actually applaud the board for finally addressing teacher workload within that, and the literacy impact on that, in the excellence plan. However, a plan is only as good as it's implemented. So I'll hold the administration accountable to deliver on protected planning time with a strong K-12 literacy approach. We must ensure that the plan prioritizes science of reading methods that work, not trendy programs that have failed too many times. And as a new board member, I'll ask the tough questions. Are we actually moving the needle on reading proficiency? Are teachers feeling less burdened? And our children can't wait another year for results. The parts that are impactful to me is the portrait of an Edmond student and really defining what that looks like. What does excellence look like? And it's not just academic excellence, it's personal excellence. Do they have integrity? Are you building character? Are they going to go out into the world and serve their community? Because that's really what Edmond Schools is about. And that's what drew me to Edmond Public Schools to move here, was the fact that they're so community involved with like Swine Week, as Edmond Memorial was, and just how involved the community is within that school. So that's really what impacts me and what I'm excited about for the strategic plan.
Thanks to you both. The next question will start with you, Mrs. Tiffin. School board members are elected in a nonpartisan election. Given that fact, what is the role of a board member in public, and what do you see as the key functions of a school board member?
Well, I believe the board member first and foremost represents the voice of the parents and the students, and they need to come first. So focusing on the family and what they need is very much important. As far as my role of what I would be as a board member, listening, just a very good listener, and trying to collaborate with the teachers and the administration and the superintendent and the teachers. Collaboration is very important, because if you can't work together, then there's just no point in working that way.
Mrs. Kuhlman.
Would you repeat that?
Absolutely. School board members are elected in a nonpartisan election. Given that fact, what is the role of a board member in public, and what do you see as the key functions of a board member?
In public, a board member represents the district, and they should have the decorum that represents what we are. We are respectful, we are dedicated, we are involved, and we care. Those are some of the things that are so important. I am disappointed that school board elections seem to become so political. It should not be political. It should be a vote for someone who wants what's best for students. All students, not just a few, all. And I believe that in doing so, you have to maintain a demeanor that shows the honor of your office. I mean, it is an honor. I'm very humbled by the fact that I even have been allowed to serve. I recognize that I don't always agree with other board members or even the administration, but it's important to maintain that respectful attitude, take care of some of those things in private, not air dirty laundry, and to continue to advance the excellence of Edmond Public Schools.
Mrs. Kuhlman, back to you. EPS has core values of hope, collaboration, integrity, and belonging. Given these values, how would you ensure that all students, regardless of religion, gender identity, or socioeconomic status, feel that they truly belong in Edmond schools?
Belonging is such an important aspect, and it's important at every grade level. But by the time they get to the high school, they need to have a focus, an interest, someplace that they feel they belong. Whether it's a sport or an art or the debate team, it doesn't matter. But those are values that are transferred, and they have to feel like they belong. We offer such a variety of electives that there's not any student who cannot find their spot. We have counselors who help, but we have to direct these students. We have culinary arts, we have Air Force ROTC, we have agriculture, things that are so varied that these students will find their spot. They may need some assistance, and that's where our counselors come in. Their parents need to be involved to help direct them to where they find their interests. We have gaming now in Edmond Public Schools, and that in itself provides scholarships for students to college. Who would have thought 5 years ago that we were giving scholarships for gaming? I believe that there is a place for every student. And we have teachers, we have the parents, and we have the counselors to advise and help direct them into their special spot. I don't think it goes without saying, we have to do individually what's best for each student.
So ensuring that all children feel like they belong in the school is very important. And I appreciate the vision of advancing excellence with that, ensuring that dignity and belonging are focused on. But true excellence and dignity come from recognizing that every child is made in the image of God. And that means treating every student and teacher with respect. Upholding high standards, fostering a culture of personal responsibility rather than excuses. So championing values that stand the test of time, although those things are very important, I agree that there are extracurricular activities and classes for everyone. It's more important to focus on hard work, honesty, and respect for authority, and love for learning in any capacity. When values seem to conflict, I'll always choose what honors God first, protects innocence, and prepares our children to be the productive citizens who contribute to a flourishing Edmond and a flourishing community.
Mrs. Tiffin, talk to us about the academic supports that EPS provides for students receiving special education, English language learners, and gifted education services. Where do you see areas of improvement, and where are areas of excellence?
Well, improvement, I really can't speak to that. I don't know a whole lot about that, but I knew that there are plenty of programs that are in place. So I'd like to strengthen the MTSS program so that struggling learners can receive timely evidence-based intervention while the high achievers are challenged. But all of these things, first and foremost, don't matter if you don't have parental involvement in there. You have to start with the parents and you have to get them involved. So these programs are great, but if you don't have the support from home, they won't be successful. We must ensure that resources go to proven programs that close the gaps in reading and math, aligning with the Edmond Excellence focus on rigorous curriculum for all. I really hope to learn more about that as I move forward as a board member.
Mrs. Kuhlman, talk to us about academic supports that EPS provides for students receiving special education, English language learners, and gifted education services. Where do you see areas of improvement, and where are areas of excellence?
Well, Edmond provides a lot of academic supports for our students. I've already mentioned the varied electives. We also have special services that deals with our special needs students. They are now going into a new transition academy that we are building that will help these students with special needs move on into the next level of their life. The parents are involved, the teachers are involved. We do job shadowing, internships for our students. We also have a place that's near and dear to my heart, Boulevard Academy. Boulevard Academy is for students who do not fit into the regular classroom. They are given an opportunity to work at their own speed, at their own level. And that in itself, it's a smaller class, smaller environment. The teachers are dedicated and they help advance them and they are able to graduate. Those parents are so excited when they have step day, which is a graduation every 6 weeks, and just the pride and the hope that we've given them. We also have summer school. English language learners are provided, interpreters. They're given the opportunity to learn the language, to meld themselves into a classroom. They get special attention. We are very fortunate in that we address so many of the needs of the students of Edmond. As I said, 93 languages spoken, that's a lot.
Thank you. Mrs. Kuhlman, Oklahoma continues to face a critical teacher and support staff shortage. In your discussions with teachers and staff, what are the biggest issues they are facing in their classrooms? And what can you, as a school board member, do to mitigate those issues and encourage our staff to stay with us in EPS?
Retention and recruitment are two very important aspects of our district. We have to be able to recruit the best of the best. And we have to retain those teachers who are doing such an excellent job. Oklahoma is not known for their pay for their teachers or for the support of teachers. I think that it's important that we as a board and as families show the appreciation and get that message out that they are important. They are important. They kind of come down from that stature in the old pioneer days where the teacher was put on a pedestal, was probably the most honored citizen of that town. We don't see that anymore. As a board member, I think it's important to visit the classrooms, visit the teachers, find out what their needs are, try to meet those needs if at all possible, whether it's academic needs, textbooks, whatever, support it as far as a student teacher or someone that can be a teacher assistant. We have a lot of TAs in our school. Those people are the ones that support our teachers, give them a lot of help and a lot of feelings of accomplishment. Our teachers could not accomplish what they do without all of these supports.
Mrs. Tiffin.
Thanks. Great teachers are the heart of excellent schools. I'll support competitive compensation, reduce paperwork, and create a positive culture, or continue a positive culture, because it's pretty positive already, and that honors educators' hard work. I think respect in the classroom and respect for parents needs to happen. It feels like sometimes there's like a divide between that, or a conflict, or it's kind of an us against them mentality in some areas, and I'd like to work on that and go to the classrooms and visit with those teachers and make sure that the students are respecting the teacher first and foremost, because they are an authority figure and there needs to be respect for authority figures. But much like they do in the private sector, if we can balance the budget and we can keep that and we can find some extra money somehow, I really would like to implement raises and bonuses based on appropriate metrics that teachers are being measured on. They deserve more pay. They don't need to be coming out of college with a little student debt and then they have to pay for their own things for the classroom, their own supplies, things like that. I would really like to see and encourage those teachers to perform well. In the private sector, if you don't perform, you get fired. If you're on a team and you have a really bad coach and you have several years of a losing streak, you should eliminate that position and hire somebody else. So I'd like to put in some of those metrics into play based on the strategy plan that's been implemented.
Thank you. Mrs. Tiffin, back to you. There are multiple bills currently under consideration in the Oklahoma House and Senate regarding literacy. These include, but are not limited to, a third grade retention and also restoring the requirement that minors must pass an 8th grade reading test to secure a driver's license. What are your thoughts on proposed literacy legislation?
I think it's great. I think we should have done this a long time ago, actually. Literacy is foundational, and children cannot succeed without it. So I strongly support the Strong Readers Act and enhancements like the science of reading and banning the 3 cueing and early intervention. Parents need to continually be informed and involved. Transparency and accountability for those. So I really support those initiatives that are currently being addressed in the state. But it is a common sense policy that puts children first that I really support.
Thank you, Mrs. Kuhlman. There are multiple bills currently in the Oklahoma House and Senate regarding literacy. These include, but are not limited to, 3rd grade retention and restoring the requirement that minors must pass an 8th grade reading test to get their driver's license. What are your thoughts on proposed literacy legislation?
House Bill 4420 has now been introduced into the House, and in that it is addressing intervention at the 1st grade level. Waiting until 3rd grade is really too late. We have to start earlier to get our students on track with their reading. We also have legislation that has addressed dyslexia. Every one of our teachers from K through 12 have to go through dyslexia training. Now, that's a requirement. It's a state requirement. And I think that having that has also helped with our reading and our reading scores. As far as the teen driver reading, being asked to read at an 8th grade level, I think that's pretty important. I mean, you have to be able to read the signs in the road. You have to be able to know when you are going the wrong way. I think that is not a bad idea. I think that it has some validity, and I hope that they will keep that. We also, in the Readers Act, they track student progress. That is really important to see how our students are advancing in their reading skills and their reading sufficiency. I hope that all of our parents are aware of that, and if they aren't, they need to be on our website, they need to be in touch with their teachers to know that those are available. Those tracking devices are available, as well as just knowing where your student is with their reading.
Mrs. Kuhlman, today's kindergartners are the class of 2038. What educational experiences do you hope that they have before they graduate from Edmond Public Schools? And what outcomes do you hope to see?
Well, I think that class is going to be faced with things that we cannot even imagine. Jobs that are beyond our imagination, as is AI now. I mean, who would think that that would be part of an education? I think that we also need to hope that these students are not just prepared for college, not prepared to do menial jobs, but they are going through programs such as Francis Todd to learn the skills of plumbing, electricians, we have aeronautics. There are so many opportunities that these students will have that the students 10 years ago could never have dreamed of. I think that we want these students to be able to find a job opportunity that will be satisfying and that will keep them engaged with their community and with others. I think that the students that are coming forth in the future are going to have plenty of challenges. I don't think that we can anticipate all of them, but I do believe that Edmond Public Schools will keep up with those challenges and make sure that our students are prepared when they get out in
38.
In 38. It's beyond my comprehension to think of that far ahead. Anyway, I do think we are preparing our students and we will continue to do so.
Mrs. Tiffin.
Well, that's exciting, 2038. You think about, they were pushing coding just a few years ago. Now coding, you don't really need to do, you can code your own through AI, and how things have just changed so rapidly. So looking forward, thinking about that, I see Edmond Public Schools as a national model of academic excellence, safety, and a family partnership, where every graduate embodies the portrait of an EPS graduate with strong character and real skills. Those real skills can come from utilizing our schools like Francis Tuttle and expanding that into partnerships with corporations and what the needs might be up and coming. While we can't keep up with the challenges because we can't foresee really what they will happen, what the world will be like is what I'm trying to say. You can root our children in truth, and you can root them in characters and principles that last forever and that do not change over time.
As a mother of a kindergartner, I like both of these visions. We will be closing our debate at this point, or our forum at this point, and Mrs. Tiffin, you have the first opportunity to take 2 minutes to share concluding comments with our community members.
Well, first, I just want to thank you all for being here and taking time to care about our children. It's pretty amazing that you're here to support that. Edmond Public Schools is already among Oklahoma's finest, so let's keep it that way and make it even better. My family experienced that excellence firsthand at Memorial, and as a grandmother now, I want that more and more for my grandchildren and for every child that is in our district. That means protecting innocence by removing inappropriate materials, supporting teachers with real resources, balancing our budget, prioritizing reading and math fundamentals, and modeling virtues like honesty, perseverance, integrity, and personal responsibility. Guided by faith in God, love for family, freedom for parents, and a no-nonsense focus on what works, I'll bring fresh energy and accountability to the board. So to remember, on April 7th, vote for me, Codie Tiffin.
Thank you, Mrs. Tiffin. Mrs. Kuhlman?
On my introduction, I really didn't express my experience with Edmond Public Schools. I've been involved with Edmond Public Schools for 40 years. As a parent, as a PTO president, as a teacher for 14 years at Central Middle School, teaching family and consumer science. You may have had it at some ed. I've also served on the board for the last 15 years. I believe that the consistency in the service I offer is important. I believe the knowledge I have is important. I believe in our teachers, I believe in our families, I believe in our students, and I believe in our staff. We could not do what we do without each and every one of you. And I hope you realize that that is the basis for our success. It's not a school board, it's not one teacher, it's not just a family. It takes us all to do what's right. We have excellent administrators. I mean, Today I realized that this was an opportunity to just show you and tell you how wonderful our students and our administration and our teachers are. It's an opportunity. I'm not here to sell myself. I just want you to realize what you have, and I hope we can keep it going. And I appreciate you all for being here. I think our PLAC group, if you don't know about them, they advocate for, through the legislature, for education, and I thank them for sponsoring this. It means a lot that you all are here and that you know what you're voting for. So I encourage you to make your choice and choose wisely. Thank you.
Thanks to both Mrs. Kuhlman and Mrs. Tiffin for your expansive visions for Edmond students. Thank you for everyone for attending tonight. And tell your friends and neighbors to vote this April 7th. I'll serve up both of these fine women for questions afterwards. I know you probably have some burning in your heart, but otherwise, thank you very much for coming this evening.